Hello, everybody, and welcome to our interview series on the top crypto scams sponsored by CoinStructive. And today I'm here with Topsy, top investigator for CoinStructive on investigating crypto scams. How are you, Topsy?
I'm great. How are you, Lori?
I'm doing really good, really good. And I hear we have a really good scam to talk about today.
Yes, we do, like always.
Yeah. All right. Well, none of the scams are good scams, right? But I think it's important that we let everybody know what's going on and what to look for and what to avoid. So tell us, what's the scam we're going to talk about today?
Right. I'm not even sure what to call it, but I would say it's a Microsoft, in quotes, Microsoft scam. It has nothing to do with Microsoft themselves, but that's probably the easiest way to describe it.
Okay, so now we don't want to scare everybody as far as not getting or putting Microsoft on their computer, because all computers come with Microsoft already installed. So what exactly scam are you seeing?
Right. So in this particular scenario, what we're seeing is people reporting to us to say, I suddenly got a prompt on my computer. I was just working on my computer, maybe browsing the internet, and I suddenly saw a prompt on my computer saying, your computer is infected. Call this number right away. Call Microsoft on this number right now. Your computer has been compromised. Call Microsoft. And then they display a phone number, and the victim, is scared because generally speaking, they're not really sure what's going on. And so they go ahead and they call the number, and having called the number, they're put in touch with some guy maybe in the call center, or maybe just some individual person who says, oh, actually, I'm from Microsoft. We noticed that your computer has been compromised, and we want to help you to clean up your system, basically. And that's how it proceeds.
Wow. And I've seen ads that run alongside that are blinking ads saying scan now, or your computer has a virus. Is that along the lines of what we're talking about?
Yeah, absolutely. People click on very random links when they're browsing on the internet. It could be any link. Like, you could see list ads popping up and saying, with these shiny images, click me, yeah. They're screaming at you, drawing your attention. They could even those messages could show like, you have a virus on your computer, click here to clean it, something like that. And people go ahead and click those kind of links, and then they end up, on a phone call with some random person, who is trying to help them, in quotes,
Yeah. So if they do go as far as calling somebody, then what can they expect that person's going to take them through, or what process it's going to take them through?
The person is going to drive fear into them, first of all. It's going to drive fear into them to make them believe that indeed their computer has been compromised, or maybe their banking information or some other personal information has been compromised, And once that fear has been established, they begin to ask them to provide, maybe personal information, or they send them a link to a remote access system. So they send them a link and say, click on this link, and it will give us, it will help you download a particular software that would give them access to your computer. So once you download the software and you install the software on your computer, and you're basically giving them remote access to your computer, right? That's one of the modus operandi. So you give them remote access to your computer, then a completely different location, you don't even know who they are, and some stranger suddenly has access to your computer. And from there, they can dig into your computer, they can drop files in your system, they can take files out of your system, they can identify your bank, and they can do a lot of havoc, basically. And their end goal, their end point, is to get money out of you in one way or the other.
Wow. Well, I know there's some legitimate companies. I know Adobe Acrobat actually offers really good remote access tech support. So how does one distinguish valid remote access tech support versus scam?
Right. I mean, if you talk about adobe.com, if you go to adobe.com, you know you're on a legitimate website already, as long as you're not clicking on some funny links, right? So you should kind of take a step back and ask yourself, how did I even get to this web page? How did I get here? How did I get in contact with this person? You know, if the source or the process of getting in contact with those people is questionable, like you just clicking a random link on the internet, then you need to really slow down and ask yourself some serious questions, because typically you're going to end up being defrauded. You know, but if you've yourself gone to adobe.com or any other legitimate website, let's say you've gone to microsoft.com, you've gone to hp.com, dell.com, those kind of websites, and you're being offered remote support, then that's, you know, absolutely fine, because you've plugged in a legitimate website that you have a need for support, right?
Yeah.
Not you have no need for support, you just clicked on some random links on the internet, that you're probably going to get into trouble.
Wow. And so these guys create websites with the scam, with the flashy button, right?
Absolutely.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And so how can somebody avoid it?
I mean, avoid clicking links that you have no business with. When you're on the internet, you know, go there, do what you need to do, and just stop clicking random links. I mean, you were sharing with me just a couple moments ago how that, you know, some people randomly, you know, reached out to you, and I don't know how did that go?
Yeah, so I just recently had, it was an invoice that was sent to me, and the invoice said, you just renewed your Norton antivirus. And I went, okay, I don't have Norton antivirus. But they said, we've charged your account $220. And if you think this was not you, then please call this number. So I called the number, and they directed me to a website and asked me to click on a link, which I didn't click on. But on that website, they wanted me to enter in all my information: birthday, name, account, and bank name, which was a red flag for me not to proceed. And I never did get any charges taken out of my account. It was just an invoice to urge me to follow through with their funnel, their scam funnel, I guess.
Right. I mean, that's a variant of what we're talking about right here. You know, you didn't reach out to them, they reached out to you. You don't even have Norton antivirus on your computer, and
Right.
they're planning to process a refund for you. You know, there could be several different, you know, variants or variations of the same scam, but the goal, the idea is that you have no business with these people. Actually, they reached out to you, and they're asking you to provide personal information. They're asking you to click on random links, and we've seen cases where people come, you know, they end up, you know, going to a Bitcoin ATM and sending Bitcoin to random people, to people that they met, you know, through very shady means online. And you know, we've seen many cases where these victims have lost tens of thousands of dollars to this kind of scams. You know, sometimes, you know, we're actually at CoinStructive, we deal specifically with cryptocurrency related fraud, but sometimes these cases of fraud that we're describing here may not necessarily go down the path of crypto. Sometimes they will go down the path of traditional, you know, currencies, fiat. Sometimes they will go down the path of gift cards. You know, they could end up telling the victim, oh, go to Target or go to Walmart, buy gift cards, and, you know, send it across in one way or the other. So, but whether it's cryptocurrencies or not, these are red flags that, you know, we're pointing out to you, and you need to be on the lookout for, and, you know, shouldn't fall victim to any of these frauds.
Yeah, clickbait.
Yeah.
Avoid it. So, wow. Well, this has been great. And hopefully our listeners have learned not to go and just click any random website or call these numbers and follow directions and give them their bank account information, right?
Right.
So I thank you very much for the Microsoft scam, we'll label it today. Right. And hopefully that there's no infringement rights that we're imposing on, since it may not always be Microsoft, but maybe people posing as Microsoft and Norton and all these other false acts.